2004, 4 years after Warning, so really pushing the length of time, they came out with American Idiot, and it was amazing. I remember even the build up to this was amazing. MTV did a whole late night kind of release of the American Idiot video, and there was a website streaming it before you could buy it, and this just blew up, and it was an amazing album. It was finally a big gratification for a lot of the fans that were saying, Green Day's a great band, and everyone just kind of, they're just that punk band or whatever. They can finally hear how great they are and how well they can write songs and how deep their songs are. And it was just a huge gratification for us to be like, yes, that's Green Day, see? That's amazing. It just blew up. I mean, they sold 14 million albums worldwide. This is a huge album. It was the biggest thing in music when it came out. And it was just amazing. And so being a fan, there was, a two-tone prong or whatever you want to say to this is, you're proud that they're doing great and you can show people, but now people that you hate started listening to Green Day. The people that were saying they weren't good were listening to them. Old people were listening to them, and you start to lose, the feeling of that's my band. Like I said before, I took them as my band, and now, everybody's jumping on that. And you're like, but they're my band. And there's that kind of loss of that. And this is also the first time I started hearing the argument of they're way overplayed, which I do sort of understand. When Wake Me Up When September Ends hit, it was everywhere. It was on like 5 radio stations all at once. Like, it was huge. And it was everywhere. But whenever I hear this argument, I like to say that it's your own fucking fault if they're overplayed. This is 2004. iPods were easy to get. I believe they were already starting to do internet radio. And you can always change the station on your radio. If something's overplayed and you're tired of hearing it, that is possible. But it's your fault for continuing to listen to it. If it's starting to get old, change it. That's your fault. Stop blaming the band for being overplayed. So the song I would suggest listening to from American Idiot, even though the whole thing is fantastic, would be What's Her Name. It's a great kind of nostalgic song, kind of looking back on your life and, hoping that you've made an impact on somebody's life. And, kind of thinking, what happened to that guy I used to hang out with or that girl? And, where did their life go? And, it's played very simply, but then builds this great crescendo, and it's just a really good song. So I'd check out What's Her Name. They rode American Idiot for a long time. It was a huge album. They came out with a live album after that, and they really, really rode this wave for a long time. It was 5 years till their next album came out. We were all wondering, how are they going to top American Idiot? And 21st Century Breakdown came out. I'd say successfully they did not beat American Idiot. But I would say that musically is in some ways is a better album than American Idiot. They make some really good changes in this album, and it's fantastic. And one thing that they did during this album is they really seemed to merge the two fan bases together. The old fans that have been around forever, the minority, the group that we all, got together, and all these new people coming in that liked American Idiot. And they really mixed them in as a mix between 21st Century having a blended set of songs from new and old. When they play live, they play new and old stuff, so the newer fans can kind of get interested in the older things, and it really started feeling like a community again, like we're building back together. It's just a really solid album. For being a fan, everything kind of pulled forward. There's still the, they're overplayed argument. But, no one cared. We were this, back to being a huge community of Green Day fans, and it was great. One thing I'd like to mention, too, being the song for this album, would be 21 Guns. And I know that was a single, but I really think it should have been a bigger single than it was. I don't know why it didn't blow up. It is a fantastic song. It is well written, well performed. It's just a really amazing song. Even to the point where it got played, they played it live at the Grammys. Now, I hate the Grammys. I really do hate the Grammys. I mean, here's my general feelings about the Grammys.
Here's the pulse, all right? And this is your finger. Far from the pulse, jammed straight up your ass.
But it was like they got so big that the stuffed shirts at the Grammys couldn't even ignore them anymore. And Green Day is at the Grammys. You know, at this point, I was 14 years, I was a Green Day fan. And they're at the Grammys. You know, it's like amazing to think, you know, this little punk band would be at the Grammys. It's amazing. And another thing I do have to mention, during the 21st Century Breakdown album, they also did American Idiot, the Broadway performance. I was lucky enough to catch this when they did the touring version at the Buell Theater in Denver, and it's a fantastic musical. If you want to check it out, I'd check out the cast recording of it. It's done really, really well, and it's unfortunately they're not gonna, you know, they're not touring anymore or anything like that. But you could, I'd check out the cast recording. It's a fantastic album, and I heard Tom Hanks is trying to get a movie produced of it. And if that happens, I will lose my freaking mind. That'd be amazing. A few years go by, and Green Day comes out with what I like to call the trilogy. In 2012, they released 3 albums in 1 year: Uno, Dos, and Tre. All 3 full albums, 12 to 13 tracks apiece, all having completely different styles and feelings. They're all fantastic albums. But here's where, you know, things start to go bad again for Green Day fans. Like I said before, you know, people like them when they're big, and then once that's done, they want to forget about them. They're just done. We're done with Green Day. You know, they pop up a Dookie, oh yeah, it's great, and now we're done with it. They pop up with, you know, Good Riddance. Yeah, great, and we're done with you. American Idiot. Oh, yeah, this is great, and we're done with you. And this is where it hits again. And it's becomes really frustrating as a fan at this point, too. Because there has been a willful ignorance of Green Day, and it's really weird. And it's really frustrating. Like I said, it's I'm back to hearing they haven't been good since Dookie again. And also people saying, oh, I haven't heard anything since Dookie. Bullshit! American Idiot was the biggest thing in music when it came out. You heard songs from there. And, you know, these are the same people are saying they're overplayed, but now they haven't heard anything. And it's just like, it's just frustrating as hell. And, you know, and they just want to ignore Green Day again. It's really freaking annoying. So one thing I do have to mention, during this time, Billy Joe had his blow up at the iHeartRadio event.
Fuck this shit. I'm gonna play a fucking new song. Fuck this shit. Give me a fucking break. 1 minute left. 1 minute fucking left. You're gonna give me fucking 1 minute? Look at that fucking sign right there. 1 minute. Let me fucking tell you something. Let me tell you something. I've been around since fucking 1980 fucking 8. And you're gonna give me 1 fucking minute? You gotta be fucking kidding me. You fucking kidding me. What the fuck? I'm not fucking Justin Bieber, you motherfuckers.
For me, this wasn't that big of a deal. I've seen them live many times, and that's just Billy Joe being live Billy Joe. He acts like that. That's just him. But, you know, it caused him to go to rehab, cancel their tours. They canceled their show that they're going to play in Colorado. And they really haven't done a big tour since, and it's really disappointing. I have not got to see them in a long time. But, I mean, he's out of rehab. They're doing okay. It's just really disappointing to see, you know, to not see them again. So, yeah, my suggestions for these albums. For Uno, I would go with Stay the Night. It's about a one-night stand that maybe you take a second and think, you know, why couldn't this be more? Maybe this could be more than a one-night stand. For Dos, I'd say Stray Heart. It's got just a fantastic rhythm, and the music to it's great. And it's just kind of a goofy song. It can be taken 2 ways. One is like kind of their dark humor showing of, cheating just being, a cute character flaw. Like, oh, I just cheated. Like, oh, I stole the remote. Sorry. I can't help myself. The other way it can be taken too is, leaving someone you love and finding that they are the one you love and going back to them. It can be kind of taken both ways. And that's, how they write. Their songs can be interpreted in many ways. And for Trey, it would definitely be Ex-Kid. I originally took this song as kind of losing your childhood, finally putting that part of your life behind you and moving on. And it does touch on that, but upon researching, I actually found that the song is about Billy Joe's friend that took his own life. And it's done really well. It's not a sad song. It's more just, kind of a question of why. And it's just done really well. So check out Ex-Kid. You may be wondering why I'm doing a Green Day video. Well, this year I will have been a Green Day fan for 20 years. And also next month, Green Day is also going to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's just amazing. This is finally ultimate gratification for Green Day fans. You can have your thoughts on Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, who belongs there, who doesn't. That's totally up to you. That's your opinion. But this is at least a respectable act. It's something somebody could look at and be like, oh. And I can point and go, they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're next to Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, Heart, Nirvana. They're in there with them. They are with company. And although this video is more about my personal experiences, they did do a lot for music, and they did change music, if you believe it or not. They are a real great band. They are an amazing band, and I can finally, really show something like, hey, they're there. They are my band. My band has been considered one of the greatest bands of all time, and it's, a great feeling. Beyond my parents, Green Day has been the biggest influence in my life. An example I can say is, one thing people know about me is I'm really into comics. I got into comics. I was collecting I got a few here and there growing up, as you do as a kid, but I really got into the whole collector culture in college. And I got into it because my girlfriend at the time had a few comics, and I had a few, and we just had one night where we're just kind of looking over each other's small collections. You only had like 5-10 a piece, and just like, oh yeah, and then we're just like, we should let's go to a comic shop and check it out. And we kind of really started building in and getting into it. So what's this have to do with Green Day, you ask? I got the girlfriend because I was super confident about it. I was super confident because I was in a band. I was in a band because I knew how to play drums. I knew how to play drums because I saw Trey Cool do it on TV, and it was the most amazing thing I've seen in my life, and I wanted to do that. And there's just so much in my life I can trace back to things Green Day influenced me on. And I know I'll never probably get to meet them and tell them how much they affected me. But, at least now I can show the world, like, they're there. And, I was with them the whole time. I've been a fan for 20 years. I guess the best way I can leave this video is, here's Green Day playing with Will Ferrell.
It's been a lifetime since